Now, everybody, we are going to cross the waters over to the USA to an absolutely amazing, amazing company. And I absolutely love their name, Holistic Jewel. And it is just such a beautiful name. So let's go and meet them and we'll get into some gorgeous questions. All right, let me know. So what prompted you to open your business? Was there somebody that gave you an idea? Or did you just wake up like many of us and say, this is what I want to do?
Well, I always had an interest in aromatherapy and holistic healing. All right. With a nursing background, I just noticed a lot of patients that I took care of, especially in like skilled nursing facilities, that are maybe coming to the end of their life with just very standard treatments and therapies, standard soaps, and nothing that gives them an extra oomph of anything. So that was one of my first inspirations, wanting to create products, self-care products that have a little bit more to them than just a very plain, okay, this cleans, this moisturizes, and I found that beneficial by using essential oils. So that's what my business is about. I try to use mostly essential oils and blend them for their therapeutic benefits. And then my oldest daughter has eczema. And she had it since birth, and 3 months old is when it started developing in her. And I've tried for years trying to figure out different things to help alleviate the eczema because there's no treatment. I went to different dermatologists. I tried different natural soaps and so forth. And then I said, you know what, let me be proactive and try and learn how to create my own products to benefit her. So it started with that. So the goal was for the patients, but the motivation came from treating my own daughter for her eczema.
And I think lots of us kind of have that idea where, you'll have someone in your family, like when my dad came to live with me and he was terminally ill with cancer and he, couldn't use a lot of soaps, a lot of them that he couldn't use. So then I ended up going back to the drawing board and going, okay, let's just make dad a sensitive one, which like you said, you can put essential oils and things. But with my dad's, I actually put nothing in it. I mean, it was a base olive oil soap, which was really good for him. It was just really lovely and moisturizing and he really loved it. But I get what you're saying with eczema because I have a daughter that is close to her 30s now, but she was so bad that couldn't even go to school camps or anything. Her legs were bandaged at night. And I mean, that bad, they would just crack and bleed from eczema and just absolutely terrible. And I think as a mom, you just think, what can I do? And then you sort of do your own research because it's kind of like it just hits your heart as a mom. And I really think that's where a lot of us can go down that avenue of finding a solution, I guess, or even like just the testing solution. So anyone making you test everybody, you must test so much. And if you're going to give it to a family relative, as you would know, that has an issue, I'd say test it on yourself before you test it on them, especially if they have more sensitive skin. And I think as a nurse, you probably see a lot more. Like my daughter is a nurse. One of my oldest daughters is a nurse. And she often says, oh, if we just had a product for this, And often it's just a skin thing, as she says, but it would make them feel so much more comfortable. So
yes, definitely. I agree. I agree. Just having something that smells nice, but still is good for your skin. So it doesn't have to have a very high fragrance load or fragrance that will irritate your skin, but something that is still beneficial for your skin and just kind of, I guess, appeals to other parts of your senses. I'm all about smell. That's why I did aromatherapy. It's really good for me. I get a lot of healing and benefits from smell and from different types of holistic therapies. So that's really what I wanted to incorporate. And of course, my name being Jewel, it just made sense.
Yeah, that is an amazing name. I absolutely love that name. So when I remarried, we had our first child, a daughter, and her name is Pearl. And I loved the name Pearl. And then we ended up having another daughter together. And I wanted to call her Diamond. I wanted that name. And my husband was like, no. He said, we cannot have two jewels. One is enough. So
Pearl and Diamond.
yeah, that's right. So you said no. So anyway, her name's Annabelle. So she did not get anything like what I wanted,
Right.
but it's still a lovely name. But yeah,
It
anyway,
is.
I thought of that when I seen your name. I thought, oh, I would have loved a name like that for my second daughter.
It's so funny. My first daughter, recommendations for names for her, Diamond was the first on the list because of my name being
Oh,
Jewel. But I didn't
yeah.
like it at the time, to be honest. I was like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I
But
mean, now I look at my daughter and it wouldn't suit her. She has the most frizzy, gorgeous red hair, that typical
right,
Irish red hair. So,
yeah,
it definitely wouldn't have suited her. But I did love the name.
yeah,
Anyway, I just thought it was beautiful. So you were lucky. You got a gem of a name for sure.
yes,
Your
I
mum
did.
was very smart giving you that name. So now
Thank
let
you.
us know, what do you sell? What kind of products do you sell? Go into your line a little bit for us.
Okay, so I sell soaps, from bar soaps to whip soaps, body scrubs. So I guess that's exfoliants, sugar scrubs, salt scrubs, and other exfoliants. So maybe oatmeal based or botanical based scrubs. So without the sugar or the salt. I also sell massage oils and therapeutic body oils,
Yep.
as well as lotions, which would be lotion like milk lotions, body butters, whipped body butters, hydrating body butters.
Yep.
I sell essential oils. I have my own brand of essential oils, which is Holistic Jewel.
Oh, that's good.
I also do wax melts, and I haven't jumped into candle making yet, but
Yeah.
that will be a plan at some point. And I
Yeah.
also do room sprays. So I try to keep it essential oil based for the therapeutic benefits. So like linen sprays for the pillows, and other sprays that, could help bring out the therapeutic benefit of the essential oil. So if you're anxious or, you want to have an uplifting day or something like this,
Yeah.
I will have like a linen spray or a body mist that will have those essential oils to bring forth that type of therapeutic benefit.
Yeah, and those body mists are very popular in Australia. So are room sprays.
Yeah.
Huge,
Mm,
huge. Like everybody wants them, especially my teenage daughters. And
right.
I have five daughters. So
Wow. I
from
have two.
yeah, I have five daughters and two sons. But my oldest daughter is 30, right down to my youngest, who is 14. And so it
Hmm.
doesn't matter what age they are, they really like that. And I think, like you said, we're all into that whole holistic life now that,
Yes.
I think we're more aware of it. Before, it was really, unless you're in the medical profession, you didn't know what that was. But I think, just an average person knows what that is, and a bit of self love, I think, is
Yes.
really important. So everybody, if you're thinking, what is the one thing I can spend on myself, just find one thing that you really love that makes you feel good, whether it's the soap, the room spray, whatever. So I do think that is, super important.
I was gonna
um,
say I did start off making bath bombs, and I tried and I tried and I tried,
yeah,
and after a while I had to say, you know what, Jewel, expand this business beyond
yeah,
bath bombs, because it was really hit and miss with it, and I was
yeah,
investing so much of my time and it was not working out. So that's another thing that I hopefully
yeah,
would try and bring back, but for now it's
yeah.
all of the other items that I mentioned.
Bath bombs are very hard. People think they're so easy,
It
but
looks
it's the
easy, but
hardest
it's
thing to
not.
make. Yeah, hardest thing to make. And I make thousands of bath bombs. I've made
Yeah.
probably over 10,000, I would say now,
I
since
think
I
you make
started.
it look easy. That's the reason why.
Yeah, no, and I do get lots of people saying, I'm following your recipe and it's crumbling and what am I doing? But sometimes it's the environment. It might also be where you live. So in
Yeah.
your climate. So like in Australia, at the top of Australia, we have, the tropical climate, where I'm in the more drier climate because I'm at the bottom of Australia. So the
Right.
top, if you live in Queensland and places like that, a lot of people can't make bath bombs. They will never work, and it's not their fault. It's just the environment. It just will not work. So sometimes if you're in that kind of subtropical type climate,
Right.
or if you're in an area that snows a lot, that can be a big problem too, because it's so cold. So it's,
Yes.
yeah,
I mean, I tried everything. I bought different molds to try, the machine, things that you recommended to try, and
yeah,
it really wasn't working. But I like making
yeah,
them, especially with my children. So we use the ones that didn't come out the best, but for
yeah.
selling purposes, none yet.
Yeah. You
No
can always
success
make a
yet.
fizz, like a
Yeah.
dust. So turn it
Yes.
into a dust. I know lots of people in Australia make dusts and put them in bags. So they call it
Oh,
fairy dust. Yeah,
that's
but it's
nice.
so yeah, so you don't have to worry about it crumbling, and then you just do the colors. So you might do like a purple, pink, yellow, green, and you just layer
Right.
them so it looks like a rainbow in a jar or a bag.
That's nice, actually. I'm gonna look into
Yeah.
that. Definitely
And
look
that's
into that.
really, really popular. So and then you can add botanics to it and all different
Yes, which I
things,
love. Hmm.
whatever you like. But I do love how you said that you make, the milk like a milk scrub or,
Yes.
because that is super popular. I just came back from an expo and that was so popular, but I hadn't seen a lot of that in Australia. Until I went there and then started seeing more milk because a lot of body products in Australia are vegan. So of course you can't
Yes,
have a
yes.
milk byproduct unless it's a
Right.
coconut milk. But yeah, so that
Yes.
was, and I do notice in Australia, we're quite different to a lot of other countries where, like most of my line is vegan. And I didn't start out that way, but I noticed really fast that's what most people
People
wanted.
buy, right,
So, and
right.
I'm not vegan, but I generally will use vegan products. So, yeah, so it's really interesting, how we're all a bit different and how the products can change from, state to state or country to country. I think,
Yes, definitely. Based on what people want. So with the milks, I tend to use uh coconut milk.
yeah,
And I have also used cow's milk, powdered milk and so forth.
yeah,
And I haven't had any negative feedback on that so far, but putting vegan and organic, once you're using those things, of course, on your products definitely gives
yeah.
it a better selling point. That's what people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's important to think about too when people are creating a product because, if you have all cheaper ingredients, then you can't charge the price.
Right.
Look, I always say to people, as much as we love this is a business, we're all trying to
Yes.
create a lifestyle for ourselves and our
Yes.
families. So, you have to really think about this as a business. I think that is so important. So anybody listening, please think about the ingredients, your target market, so many things you need to think about rather than just making a product. And also, if you're using fragrance oils, there are different variations. So there are some that are
Yes.
not so good and some that are amazing. And I always use this example that the ones I buy cost $65 a bottle compared to $27 a bottle. So,
Right.
you're just paying a lot more for that really top signature range.
Yes.
But that is a bit of my selling point too, to have that sort of luxury end. So tell me, what are some challenges that you think you've faced opening a new business and getting everything off the ground?
Well, I would say initially trying to figure out the direction I wanted to go with the business. I did start off doing bath bombs initially, and then I realized it just was not, it wasn't going in the direction I wanted it to go. So I started expanding it to different things. My main challenge was number one, keeping focused on what my brand is about. Because what happened is when I started doing a lot of research and I'm seeing other people's businesses, I started feeling like I need to do that. Maybe I need to do this. Okay, I need to do that, and I had to remind myself what Holistic Jewel is about. A lot of people, once you use social media, the algorithm brings up a lot of other people that are
Mm,
doing things like you.
yeah,
So when I started my Holistic Jewel Instagram, or on all of my Instagram accounts, all I see now is businesses like mine. And
yeah,
so sometimes I used to feel like I'm not good enough, or maybe I need to be doing what they're doing, even though I understood that, you know, I need to stand apart from the rest. I don't have to follow everything that everyone else
mm,
is doing, but I couldn't help but feel that way until I was able to really um, finalize what my brand was about and what my inspiration was about and the reasoning I wanted to do this, and to keep focused on that when I make decisions on in terms of ingredients, when I make decisions in terms of the packaging, when I make decisions in terms of the fragrances I use, and the message that I'm trying to send with the packaging, with the ingredients and everything else. So that has been the biggest challenge, just remaining focused on what my brand is about and not feeling like even though we are in competition, we're not at the same time. You're going to find your target audience that will like the things that you're presenting to them, and that's the people that you need to sell to. I can't sell to everyone, so my products are not going to appeal to everyone. Who they will appeal to, those are the audiences that I need to focus on and keep true to my brand. So that has been the biggest challenge, and also to just marketing the business. I definitely enjoy the product creation point, creating the products, testing it out in family and friends. It took me a while to actually tell people I had a business. I had the business for a while, but I was so, I started it quietly before I even went on social media or create a web page. I was selling my products physically. And then I said, you know what, I need to sell more. So I need to start telling people outside of my smaller circle what I have and what, so straying away from product creation, which I absolutely love, and focusing on marketing, telling people about my business, letting them know about my brand, and bringing a face to that brand, which has been the hardest thing for me, because social media is a great tool, but I've never been in this stage of my life to be one feeling comfortable and confident behind the camera. I'm just not, but I'm trying.
And I tell people all the time that, because people always say to me, you're so confident, but I always say to people, which most people don't know, I actually suffer with anxiety. But,
yes, me too.
And, none of us, you look in the mirror and you go, oh, because I think we are in that kind of world of, you see so many beautiful people that are stick thin and, in Hollywood, and we all sort of think we need to look like that, but we definitely don't. And, I always say to people, seeing your face, that is a trust element. So for me, people see me, they know who I am, and you can't pretend. I mean, eventually people see who you are, but you want people to fall in love with you, with your idea, your creation, because it's kind of like your baby that it really is. So I really hope by me sort of talking about these things as well, that women and men, around the world just realize we don't need to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection, just giving it a go. You just got to get up and give it a go. And that is my absolute ultimate goal, is to see mums, dads, family, anybody just get up and give your business a go.
That's it.
Because people want to see you. We just don't think they do, but they do.
I want to share something with you, Rhonda. When I finalized this interview with you, when we finalized our interview, and you went onto my website, because I can see whatever. I was at work. And I got extremely nervous. I got very, very nervous, because I'm like, okay, this is going to happen. And I'm normally I believe that I'm social enough to have a conversation like this. But for some reason, I felt so nervous about whether you would feel it's a business worthy of even interviewing or talking to me, And I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to do this thing, because, everyone has been very supportive of my business for the last year. And I'm like, I've been following this woman on Patreon, and I love her business, and she's doing, everything. And I just started crying. I cried because I felt like I wasn't good enough for this conversation. I was like, I just compared myself so much. And that's a big challenge, I think, for some people, just starting their business and being confident with what they have. People may not talk about that, but I'm sure people experience at some point just being confident in themselves and being confident in their product.
And, look, honestly, I sometimes even still go, oh, am I fooling myself? Why am I doing this? Because we all think and I still say to my husband, maybe I'm not good enough to do this,
Seriously. Oh,
and,
wow.
like, so it's, it doesn't matter to me. Like I always say, because people often say to me, oh, well, you're getting towards 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, but that's only a number, like,
Right.
and that's what I say to people. It doesn't matter if you got 200 subscribers, because when I started, all I wanted was 50. I mean,
Wow.
I said, if 50
Yes.
people watch me, I'm gone to the top, you know? So, look, and I totally, utterly understand that, because this year, like I have, I set up the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference, which is a
Yes.
conference.
Yes.
And this year we've got a YouTube speaking lady speaking, Soy and Shay, and she has like over 30,000 followers. And I was a bit like, oh, why does she want to come to my conference?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
because like it's just normal. And I always say this to people, and I think that's why I like to keep it real. And
Right.
I say, I'm just a mum. At the end of the day, I'm a mum from the outer suburbs in a little tiny 3-bedroom home. Just, and honestly, I would never have thought that we've gone to this level. But,
No, we
where
don't.
can they buy your products? How can they find you? Where can they see you?
Okay, so my website is holisticjewel.com. Holisticjewel.com. That is my main website. I also sell on Etsy at Holistic Jewel. So if you go to the Etsy app and you just type in Holistic Jewel, my store will show up. I'm also on Instagram at holistic_jewel_. So those are my three social media sites: Etsy, my website, and Instagram.
Great. So everybody go over there. Make sure you join on to Holistic Jewel for Insta. We know we're all on Insta. It's such a thing. If you want to buy them, as we said, go straight directly to her site or Etsy, of course. But if you want to help Holistic Jewel out, which I'm sure you all do, go to her site so nobody has to pay for those Etsy fees.
Yes.
So go direct. And, that's super important, everyone, to drive people to your site. I
Yes.
do say it's really, really important to keep trying to drive people. Then
Yes.
people often ask me, what does that mean? And I say, well, you just want to sort of push them to your site.
To
So,
your site only. Yep.
wherever you go, just talk to people, say, this is what I do. Even when I'm getting my shopping, and, the ladies will say, oh, hi, what did you do today? And I say, well, actually, I'm a professional soaper. And then I tell them, and you'll be amazed the amount of soap I've sold to Safeway or Coles staff, which is our supermarket.
Right.
That have
Yes, I
really
know
bobbed
Safeway. I know
on.
Safeway from England. Yeah.
So yeah, so
Wow.
it's really nice. And that's the thing, everyone. Sometimes I think it was Steve Harvey said, to get comfortable, you first got to get uncomfortable. And I really love
So
that
true.
statement. It's so,
It is
so
so
true,
true.
because I love
Yes.
his statements, because they're just they're real. I mean, it is so
They
real.
are.
And,
Mm-hmm.
getting a business or making people, driving them to your site, it's not comfortable. You just hope
No,
someone
it's
will
not.
find you, but they don't.
No, I also do. I've recently started doing vendor events. So I have a next one coming up on Saturday. I did one in January and it was good. It was my first time doing that. And so
Yeah,
I learned from it what to have on the next vendor event, especially in terms of marketing. So I did good with the sales, but I
yeah,
really didn't have much to give them in terms of here's my card or here is whatever.
yes,
Now I'm much more prepared for that. And on my website too, I do have a section for people to subscribe because I'm trying to, of course, create a customer list as well as
yeah,
now and again offer maybe a special coupon code for loyal customers and so forth. So just trying to find different initiatives to get
mm,
people interested and get them to come on the site versus the social media handles. But of course, everyone uses Instagram, everyone uses
yeah.
TikTok, and so I'm trying to grow my presence there as well.
And one thing that is a great thing that I started doing quite some time ago is, when people are on my email list, once a month, I choose one person and send them a gift. But they
Ah,
have to
that's a
be
great idea.
subscribed. So, just
Yes.
at the old stories, you've got to give value. So once you
Yes.
give them value, of course they sign up. But that it may not be them, but it may be. I mean, I've had the one lucky lady 3 times she's won. And all the names are just put in a hat and drawn out. So she's
Yeah.
just been so lucky. And usually it might be $20 worth. So it might just be like a soap and a body cream or something.
Yes.
But,
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, if it was me, I'd sign up. I'd be like, well, I might actually get
Definitely.
something for nothing. And, you just don't know. They might tell someone else or share it. So
Yes.
that is important, everyone. So if the more people that you go onto their site, they will share you, you will share them. And, because as you said, somebody may not like my product, but they might like yours. So they're never going to
Yes.
buy mine because they don't like it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing that's important, everyone. Don't try and look at things as competition.
Yeah.
Because we all do have a different way of doing things. And as I said, I do use lots and lots of different people's products as well. Now, let me know, what's
Right.
your goals for the future for your business?
Well, as of now, I'm hoping to grow my business where I can sell much more products and reach out to much more people. I guess my demographic is pretty local. I live in Staten Island, New York, and it's really local to where I am. So I want to kind of push sales to different states and hopefully internationally as well.
Yeah,
Um, and that's my main focus, everything in steps. I'm still a pretty new business. I started in 2021. So over time, just trying formulas, studying, educating myself on the business and so forth, and then finally launching.
yeah,
Step by step is the way I'm going. So more sales, more production. And what I do love is
yeah,
interacting with my customers. I love doing that. I do custom blends as well. So
yeah,
putting a bit of my nursing experience as well as my aromatherapy experience and my holistic nursing experience and creating a product that
yeah.
is unique for my clients is one of the things I really enjoy doing. So I hope to do more custom based things as well.
And I think that's the thing. See, even how you were saying all of these different things, that might be different to another person. And that's what I always say to everybody, it's fine to share other people. But I did love how you were saying earlier about, often we sort of see someone else and we think we have to do that same product. Or we think
Yes.
they're making a sugar scrub, I have to make a sugar scrub.
Sugar scrub.
And that's what I always say to people, like when I first started this, bath bombs were boom, so big for me. I mean, now, honestly, I probably sell 90% soap. So,
Wow.
like my product, that is what the base is about. Now, actually, I'll say 80% soap and 20% candles, would be the big,
Wow, that's a big, I guess that's too with business. You always have to understand where the business is going and
yeah.
adapt to that, you
And
know?
things have changed. And I think in Australia, a lot of people now are starting to really want products that are more, natural. So they're sort of looking
Yes.
at soaps. Okay, it's a base olive, rather than getting it from the supermarket and they can't read
Yes.
the ingredients. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually, one thing that I think is really good is I get a lot of elderly ladies that are in their late 70s to mid 80s, and they actually say to me, I actually really want to try that soap. And I always
That's
thought
great.
an older person wouldn't want to change, but they're like, no,
Yes.
I really want something more healthy. Because I think even an older lady the other week, she came and picked something up from my door and she said to me, I actually have never been the person to do this, to try new products, but I really want to try and be educated on more healthy things. So I thought that was interesting. Um,
Definitely. Especially
yeah,
for her
and
age.
I
She's like,
loved
I'm
that.
still willing to learn.
I loved it. And I just thought, oh,
Mm.
even my mum came and I said, here you go, mum, try all these, give them to your friends at cards when you have your card night. So, I mean, and my mother-in-law's the same. She buys all my lip balms for her friends and they're all in their 70s. So,
My mom does the same thing as well. She says, listen, every Christmas, I'm not buying anything. No more Macy's. No,
yeah,
we're going right here to Holistic Jewel. And that's what they've done. Like all of my family, they support my business. They buy from me. And then they also get me customers. So yeah,
yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
that's right. And, sometimes I just say to my mum, here you go, give these to your friends, the scraps at the end of the soap, because then they try them out. And I mean, I know they're good. I've already tried them, but, they may never have bought them. But then it's it's amazing how many people do come back when you
Yeah.
actually give away that. So I always say to people, you know, if you have a little slither at the end, it's nothing to you to give that little piece away.
Yes.
And you
All
know,
of my when I have customers, I tend to give a lot of samples and freebies just for that purpose, for them to
yeah,
experience something else and see if it's something they'll like, and hopefully entice them to
yeah,
purchase a full product
yeah.
as
I
well.
mean,
So
you never
yeah.
know, do you? But I
Yeah.
will thank you very much for your interview today. I think we are going to end it because my Zoom is going to finish in 1 minute. So
Thank
I'm
you
watching
so
the time.
much.
But thank you so much. So everybody, make sure you go over and check Holistic Jewel, because
Jewel.
you will not forget that name. That is such a gorgeous name. So please go and check her out and share the love, everybody. That, you know, that's so, so important.